In the 1700s, James Oglethorpe and his brethren proposed alternative ideas to the British Parliament, calling it the Georgia Experiment, part social experiment, part political buffer. The colony of Georgia began as a radical idea, a new world for the worthy poor, as he described them. But ideals are fragile, and the pool of profit strengthens the wicked. The Georgia Experiment was a strange social and economic project launched in the early 1700s in Britain's North American colonies. Officially established in 1732, the province of Georgia was the last of the original 13 colonies, envisioned not only as a buffer state against Spanish Florida, but also as a radical social experiment. It was spearheaded by James Oglethorpe and a group of English philanthropists who sought to create an unorthodox colony. At its core, the Georgia Experiment was designed as a haven for the worthy poor of England, especially those imprisoned for debt. Oglethorpe and his colleagues envisioned a colony where land ownership was equal, slavery was supposed to be prohibited, and alcohol was banned. Essentially, a utopia built on hard work, small farming, and moral discipline. In 1733, Oglethorpe led the first group of settlers to the site that would become Savannah, encroaching on land occupied by the local Yamacraw people under the leadership of Chief Tomochichi, who through trickery became a crucial ally for the colony. For the first 2 decades, the trustees who governed Georgia strictly enforced their vision. Land holdings were limited in size, inheritance rules were regulated to prevent land concentration, and slavery was partially banned, at least by their admission, setting Georgia apart from its neighboring southern colonies. The idea was to prevent African slaves from escaping and joining military units from Spanish Florida, which offered them freedom if they reached further south, and helped them expand their territory north of Florida. They also wanted to encourage a class of independent white yeoman farmers who they believed would replace African labor and employ the poor colonists of European descent. However, the policy soon met resistance. Many settlers, especially those who had come from other colonies like South Carolina, arguably the most wicked colony regarding their feelings about slavery, demanded the right to own slaves and grow labor-intensive cash crops like rice and indigo, which required more labor than their small families could supply without African labor. Many Southerners too feared African resistance, but largely depended on exploiting them for economic power. This was a true stance of immorality and top-flight wickedness. From Savannah to Soweto, from uprisings past to movements now, remember, the fight against inequality is far from over. Thank you for watching. Stay radical, stay rooted, and continue the fight for a progressive future. Peace and power to all the righteous.